Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my weekly Sunday share. I'm so glad you're here with me.
Hello everyone,
Whoops.
This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs.
Hold on, I'm going to turn the volume down on my iPad. So welcome everyone. I'm going to give it a few more seconds and do a little bit of chatting before I get started. My hostess code for the month of February. Make sure you use this code when shopping through my online store when you check out. Paper pumpkin for the month of February. Tomorrow is the last day to make sure that you're subscribed. Now, I wanted to bring out my stamp set. Let me see. I don't see it up here. Okay, so this month, the optional thing that will go with a paper pumpkin kit, and you don't have to have it to do your kit, is the Happy Birthday to You stamp set from Celebration. It actually coordinates with our kit. So tomorrow is the last day for you guys to make sure you're subscribed to get this kit. I thought I had the stamp set at my fingertips, but I don't. My door prize for the month of February is the Little Ladybug stamp set. And just an announcement about the Little Ladybug. If you guys haven't noticed, we have some coordinating products that just started. And one of those coordinating products is actually the Ladybug's dies that go with the Ladybug set. So if you don't have these yet, all of the coordinating products that started on February 4th are as a limited time. So when they run out, they're going to be gone. So make sure you get your dies and your designer paper. And one more thing I wanted to announce, we only have about 6 more weeks left for joining the Stamping Up family. And I like to show this so you guys know what you're signing up for when you join Stamping Up. You don't have to do parties or classes. I actually call it a discount club. You're actually going to shop at a discount when you join my team. So for $99 is what you pay. You get to pick $125 worth of products, free shipping, free stamp set of your choice, and the most expensive one in the catalog is $45. So if you add that in, you also get our free little mini trimmer, a packet of the designer paper. It's a sampler, 48 sheets, 6 by 6. If you add all of these up, it equals to $209.50 plus your sales tax. And you only pay $99. So this is a great time to join. And you only have until March 31st to do this. So make sure you do it before time runs out. And this is the address you need to go to join my team. And I'll have this at the end of the video again also. So tonight I am actually using the Botanical Prints. I've had this for a while and I just started using it. I'm going to open the case, but just a warning, there's hardly anything left in it because I'm using almost everything that belongs in this set, along with the Botanical Prints dies. Now, I wanted to show you in the catalog, this is called a medley, which means that you get everything that you see here. And I'm going to actually be casing all 3 of these cards tonight. So you're going to see all 3. I'm going to do one at a time. I've gone ahead and visited our online store and I printed this so I would have all of the list of products that comes with this. You wouldn't believe. You get the stamp set I just showed you, the dies. You get 48 sheets of the Botanical Prints designer paper. And I have the sheets here to show you that primarily 3 different colors. You get crushed curry, pretty peacock, and terracotta tile. So these are all 6 of the patterns. And then what's great is if you flip these over, they're all black and white, and you can actually color some of these. And I'm going to show you a card that I did that I colored. Let me bring 3 cards in that I made yesterday using this set. So here's the first one. This uses some of the die cuts. That cute little bee or insect, whatever it is. I think it's a bee. Let me see what it says here. Metal bee embellishment. So these are bees. And then you get all of these die cuts to do your stamping on for your sentiments. Now on this one, I added some champagne foil sheets in between of my layers. I added another piece of the lovely, or Mary Merlot is what I used on this one. And these again are the die cuts that come with the kit, the medley. The third one, I went ahead and used this designer paper, the black and white side, and I used my blends markers to color the background to match the die cuts. Isn't that pretty? So there's a lot in this set. It's so worth the money that you pay for it. So as far as the little bees, I have my bag here. There's actually 12 of them. You can see I'm going to be using one on each card tonight, or one on 2 cards. But you get 12 of these, and then you also get the old olive twill ribbon that comes with that also. So you get a lot for the money that you pay for this. So let's get started with card number 1. I can see a lot of you guys are here with me. Thanks for joining. So this is the first card I'm going to case. For those of you new to stamping, case, C-A-S-E, means copy and share everything. So I'm going to actually copy the cards that I showed you at the beginning, copy and share everything, exactly like they are. So let's bring in the products I'm using. The Tailored Tag Punch, Calypso Coral Ink. I've got one of my little bees here. And then for the card base, I'm actually using thick Whisper White, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that with my bone folder. And then I have a piece of the designer paper, and that's the crushed curry. I'm using the black and white side, measuring 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. I've got 2 of the die cuts, the pre-printed die cuts. I've got one of the printed banner. And then I really like these die cut backgrounds. You can actually use, there's 2 sides. You've got the pretty peacock and the white. And there's 2 designs. You can see here, this one has little diamond shaped squares. This one has the round. So I'm gonna use one of each just to show you the difference. Pretty peacock, 5 inches by 3 3/4. So these cards do come together pretty quickly. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper and my yucky little sponge that's full of glue. You've seen me do this before. I'm going to add just a dab of glue on there. I'm going to flip this over to the pretty peacock, and then I'm just going to sponge the glue on the edges, a little bit in the center. This is just an easy way to add glue to the die cuts. Let me go ahead and fold this over. So this is going to fit perfectly on my little piece of pretty peacock cardstock. I'm just going to fold that over. And now I'm going to add snail adhesive. And that's going to go right on my card front. So I'm going to center that. So now you can see the 2 designs on the die cuts. Aren't those pretty? Next is the designer paper. I'm going to use the Tailored Tag Punch. Insert just to create a banner. I'm going to do that on both sides. And then we're going to glue this in place. And that's going to go about a little over an inch. You can put it anywhere you want, really. Stick it where you want. Next up is the die cuts. And you know what's great about these die cuts? When you run out, guess what? They're the same, almost the same image that you see here on the stamp case. At least 3 of them that I'm using tonight. Now this is going to go up here. And then I'm going to add the other one a little bit below. And now we got to do the ribbon. I'm just going to wrap that around and create a bow on the left-hand side. If I can get my fingers to work. And then I'm going to actually just pull both of these loops in to make it a little smaller. I like my bows smaller. And now we're just going to cut the ends at an angle. So there's my bow. I'm actually going to move it over more towards the left. Now what I usually do, and I do call this cheating, I take my glue dots and I just sneak one underneath there, press it in place because I don't want it to move. Now the sentiment that says "Thank you kindly" with Calypso Coral ink. And we're going to glue that in place with mini dimensionals. Now, because it's overlapping the ribbon a little, I'm going to actually add the dimensionals to the top only, because you're going to have a little bit of the thickness of the ribbon. So I'm going to put, whoops, I almost put it upside down. Okay, that's going to go right here. Wait a minute, did I not peel? Yep. All is good. Just want to make sure that's nice and straight. And then I'm going to use my glue dots. I'm going to add 2 glue dots to my little bee. Because it's a little bit wider than the body, I'm going to make sure that I squish it in there so it doesn't show. And then we're going to press that in place right there. So there's card number 1, and the only difference is the die cut background. Which one's your favorite, the circle or the little diamond shaped one? It's kind of a toss-up. I like them both. So now let's move on to card number 2. We're going to have a little bit of coloring on this one. So I'm going to be adding Memento ink, Old Olive, and Pretty Peacock. So this is card number 2. It's got a lot of designer paper layers. We're actually stamping and coloring the image on this one. So let me bring in everything that we need. So on this one, we have basic black, same measurements, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. I have the crushed curry design of the designer paper, 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And the same thing on this one, you could actually use your blends marker to color the black and white images on the crushed curry background. So there's that paper. Next is this little one that has all these mosaic looking squares. That measures 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. And then I have a little sliver 1/2 inch wide by 3 inches. So I'm just going to add glue right on the edge. And then I'm going to stick that right about there. So that's this piece. We're going to glue that in place. I'm going to get my dimensionals here with stamping dimensionals. And then we're going to do a little bit of stamping. Okay, so this is going to be glued right about there. And before I do my stamping, I'm just going to bring in a piece of the ribbon, the old olive ribbon. I'm going to cut that. I'm just guessing about there. I'm going to add some adhesive right in the middle. Or not in the middle, but you know what I mean. That's going to stick right that way. Now we're going to do a little bit of stamping. We need to do one of the flower images using Memento ink. And that's this long, skinnier one. And you know, while I have this, I'm actually going to stamp 2 more flowers for card number 3 so that I only have to bring the big shot in once. So on card number 3, I'm actually going to use this image twice. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And like I said, we'll only have to deal with the big shot just one time tonight. Now I am going to have to use my washi tape on this. My big shot plates are so curled right now. I'm trying to flatten them out. They look terrible. I have some new ones coming. And I'm hoping that the new ones won't curl as bad. Okay, so I'm going to cut these 2 out. You can see that I even have a hard time getting them in there. Whoops. I've been trying to flip them over every time I use them, and it doesn't seem to help on this set. See, now that one didn't even cut through because it's so curly. So we've got one more. I'm going to run that through again, see if I can get the first one to cut. Okay, there's 2. This one does not seem to want to do the cutting tonight. Okay, let me try that again. One more time. The third time's the charm, right? I'm almost tempted to put these in my oven to see if I can straighten them out. I've heard people doing that. Okay, we got it this time. So now I'm just going to bring in the one that I need. And for blends markers, I'm actually using Pretty Peacock Light and Dark and Old Olive Light and Dark. Let me bring the card in so you can see. And I've already gone ahead and cut out these Old Olive branches with the 2 dies that come with the kit. So now we're just going to do a little bit of coloring. These are pretty small, so they don't take long to color. So I did the dark Old Olive first. Now I'm doing the light. And then I'm blending in the center. And I'll bring it up close to the camera once I'm done. And then what I did is I added just a few little swipes with the dark Pretty Peacock, and I'm gonna finish off with the light. These are like little blueberries. Okay, that's it on that one. Pretty quick. So there you go. Let's see how cute that is. So now let's go ahead and finish. I'm gonna bring in the Pretty Peacock ink. And this time I'm using I'm Always Here for You for the sentiment. So that's the sentiment. And let's see, we're going to glue the flower, the little flower branch image first. That's going to go right here. I just realized I have 2 of these on my first card and I only did 1. That's okay. I think I can get away with it. See what I did? I have 2, one right there, and I only stamped 1. So I'm going to go with just 1 on this one. I didn't realize I had 2. I did these cards like 2 weeks ago. So I kind of forgot what I did. Okay, we're going to add that right there. And then I'm just going to sneak in my little die cuts. I've got 3 of them. So let me just add a little bit of liquid glue. So this is a fun set to work with. Let's see, I'm going to do these ones a little different only because I get just the 1 flower. I'm going to sneak 1 there, 1 here, and we'll do 1 more at the top. Okay, so a little different than the first card, but we use the same elements, and my sentiment is a little bit lower on this one. So now let's go on to card number 3. So I already have the flowers that I die cut. I have my little gold bee, and again I have 3 of the little leaf die cuts. And let me show you what card number 3 looks like. This one is really pretty with the little corner die cuts. Now I did go ahead and cut out my die cuts, the corner die cuts ahead of time. I'm using my die brush. I just want to show you how easily these will pop out. So I've got 4 of those. Sometimes I do have to turn them to the back side. Just got 2 little pieces here, and I've got 2 more to go. Okay, so there's my 4 little corners. And when you do these, you get 2 in your set, so you can cut 2 at a time. So it goes pretty quick. Now, what I'm using on this one is the Friend Sentiment, the 1-inch circle punch. For the card base, we have basic gray, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And again, the designer paper measures 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to glue that in place. And then next, I'm going to bring a scrap piece of paper. Now the Whisper White is what I'm going to glue all of the corner die cuts on, and this measures 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 inches square. So I'm actually going to add glue again with my sponge. Isn't that gross looking? But it still works. Like all the little die cut guts are all stuck in there. It's kind of funny. Now let's add glue. I'm going to do 1 at a time. And I am leaving about 1/8 of an inch of white on the outside. So if you line these up just right, they kind of meet in the center. So there's number 2. It just makes such a nice finish to a square. Okay, here's number 3. 1 more to go. So you can see how much quicker this is by using a sponge. And then here's number 4. And then we're going to go ahead and glue that with dimensionals. So let me bring my card back in. So even though this card looks complicated, it really is not, because most of it is die cuts. The center of it is all die cuts. Now look how pretty that is. And you can put whatever you want in the middle of that. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to do some more coloring. Now this one, I'm using the same Old Olive Light and Dark, and then the Calypso Coral Light and Dark. So all I'm going to do on each flower is add a little bit of the dark in the center. And again, I'll show you a close-up when I'm done. And then we're going to use the light to color the petals and to blend in the center. If you guys have not tried our blends markers, you really need to, because they color so well. Okay, and then I'm just going to use just a little bit of the dark Old Olive. Not very much. I'm just dabbing here and there, mostly in the center of each leaf. And then lastly, we're going to blend. And you know, you can get these. I talked about joining my team. If you guys, this is a good way of getting most of the blends markers. You can add $125 worth of blends in your starter kit if you want to. You don't even have to do stamps or dies. You could get a whole assortment of the blends markers. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like when it's all colored. Very pretty. So now let's add those. I got glue all over my fingers. We're gonna add the flowers first. And I'm kind of lining up the branch to go even with the die cut square. Okay, now we're gonna add a little piece of ribbon. I'm just gonna fold it in half. Just eyeball it again. And I know it's gonna go right here, so I'm gonna add some glue because it's going to be covered with the sentiment anyway. I'm just gonna make a loop. Press it in place. And now we're gonna do the friend using Calypso Coral on Whisper White and cut that out with the 1-inch circle punch. And then I'm going to take just one dimensional in the center, put that on top of the ribbon. And then let's see, we need to add a little bit of glue to our 3 die cut leaves. And I will be giving away one of each card tomorrow, and you guys know what you need to do to be eligible to win. So I'm gonna tuck one there, one there, and the third one's gonna go over to the left. And then all we have left to do on this one is add our little metal bee. Oh, I love all the hearts, you guys. I can see a whole bunch of hearts going by. I'm glad you love these cards. I'm going to bring all 3 of them back in too. And see, we're gonna add this bee right there. Okay, let me move everything over and I'll bring the cards back in. So this was card number 3, card number 2, and card number 1. And again, this is called the Botanical Prints Medley. So there you go. Those are my 3 cards for tonight. I'm so glad you joined me on a Sunday evening. And I hope you enjoyed all my cards. And I will see you again next Sunday with a new technique that I'm going to be showing you. Have a good week, everyone, and I'll see you next Sunday. Good night.